Being with Jesus, learning from him, and then also passing that on.
Come, follow me.
As a witness.
You are following the Master.
To follow Jesus.
Setting an example.
Basically just to follow God.
To believe in Jesus.
Walking in the light of Christ.
Just to take up the cross daily.
Simply to be a follower of Jesus Christ.
I'm not actually sure I am a disciple, I have to say.
Don't know if I'd consider myself a disciple.
You have to meet life coming at you and make the decisions that you've based on in terms of what God has taught you and what your relationship with God is like.
As a minister, that is to lead a church. As a father, it's to be head of a family. And as a friend, it's to be a good friend to those around me and to do that in the name of Jesus.
It means keeping my eyes on Jesus and trying to do the things that Jesus would do, learn from him, reading the Gospels and seeing the way he was with people.
I've got to keep getting pulled up sharp and considering things, because what I do for work is a director of films, therefore I'm the boss on a film set. To be a disciple means that you aren't the boss, you work to the boss, you are following the Master. So it means two things. It means one, I've got to remember that in everything I do, and it means I've also got to say no to certain things that maybe my contemporaries wouldn't.
With power and by prayer, God gives me the strength to follow Jesus and follow into Jesus's footsteps and examples.
I just don't consider myself good enough yet, anyway, to be called a disciple. But I'm glad I'm in a relationship with God.
My role as a doctor, it's important obviously to do my job as best I can, to keep up to date with all the developments and to show compassion, because that's what Jesus did. He showed compassion to those who were sick and hurting, and to keep that compassionate edge there all the time, which can be quite draining in the medical profession, always giving out to people.
If I say I go to church every Sunday, they find it very strange and weird. They're like, oh, you need to come to the pub with us. I'm like, no, oh, that's antisocial.
How do I read the Bible? How do I live what I read is a huge challenge. Challenges about how I spend money, how I budget, steward resources, time. Everything is a challenge in relation to how I stay focused on that journey with Jesus, which is following him in all of these things.
There's a lot of challenges with friends who aren't Christians, and again workplaces when you haven't got a Christian boss or a Christian colleagues. That's really hard.
With work, we sometimes have Sunday evening meetings, and which I don't tend to go.
My lunch breaks are usually an hour, so I have thought of carrying the Bible, but I tried that once and I got some weird looks and stares at my workplace.
When I go back home to the Faroe Islands, many of my family members are not Christians, but they know that I am a theological student, so they always often try to ask me questions, and they have certain expectations of me.
As a minister, I have the same struggles as anybody else. In terms of just obeying what Jesus tells me to do.
How you behave just with colleagues, how do you behave with people, how do you represent Christ to them? I love the words that are attributed to St. Columba. Go forth, spread the gospel, use words if you must. I think that's great.
If I talk about the church in the lift, if there's people in the lift and I bring up the subject about the church, I don't get any disgruntlement or anything, you know. I just say what I've got to say, and if they don't like it, well, they can lump it.